back to my channel. My name is Anna and today I am reviewing the new ColourPop Blush Crush palette. This palette retails for $14 and it's actually available at Ulta in store too. But I'm also testing out e.l.f.'s newest Putty primer. It's the Putty Eye Primer. I also got this from Ulta and I want to say it was like $3. I'll have to double check on that. ColourPop did release this a couple of weeks ago, I don't know. ColourPop launches things so fast and I had my eye on it for a while. Ever since it launched, I really debated on getting it. I was like, I have a lot of their pink palettes, but this one looks a little bit more of like muted pinks and I just really liked the looks of it. But honestly, what made me kind of be like, I don't know if I really want to buy it is that they have upped their price now to $14, which still is not bad, but it's honestly getting to the point now where they're not now like the cheapest ones in the market palette wise, and it kind of used to be that way, and I feel like sounds like Jurassic Park is happening, but that's really just my toddler because someone's at the door. I feel like they've already done a price increase within the past couple of years. I believe they started by upping, I think, their liquid lipsticks by like 50 cents or something like that, which was like, okay, whatever, no big deal. But now it's like they're starting to up everything by $1 or $2. So I'm just wondering how often are they going to keep raising their prices? And it makes me really sad because now it used to always be like, oh, ColourPop's so cheap, I'm just gonna grab it. Oh, I'm gonna grab this whole collection because it's so cheap. And it still is completely affordable. I'm not saying it's not affordable, but when you're someone like me who does reviews and you do buy the products to review and you buy a lot of products, those couple of dollars really do start to add up. And I know they recently changed to a cardboard packaging, which is great, but there also is no mirror, and I really, maybe that's also to be more eco-friendly, but I feel like if you're gonna raise the price and take out the mirror, I just, like, why are we raising the prices? That's honestly what I want to know, is why are their prices continuously raising? And when their collabs now are like, the palettes like these are like $15 where they used to be $12, and to me that's like, why? And those ones are plastic and have the mirrors, so it completely, I don't understand it. So anyways, that's kind of why I was like, I don't know if I want to spend the, you know, extra money and plus pay shipping, so I just passed on it. But then Ulta had their 20% off coupon, so I was like, I'm gonna get it then. So yeah, it is very beautiful. It's one of their 9 pans. Again, there is no mirror, but it is very pretty packaging nonetheless. And I just really appreciate the beautiful shades in here. It does look kind of very bridal. I haven't swatched any of these quite yet, but there are only 3 true mattes in here. And then there are 3 of the mattes with the glitters, which now people call them sequin formula ever since Tati Beauty came out with her palette. And then it has 3 metallics. One of the metallics is a little bit more sheer, more like a glitter topper, and that is Pop the Bottle. But these 2 right here are kind of your intense metallics. So I did do a demo today using this e.l.f. primer, and I'll go more into depth about that. But this one is in the shade Rose, and honestly, it was kind of giving me some MAC Paint Pot vibes. That's kind of what it feels like. So I might do a video to test out if this is a dupe for MAC Paint Pots. Okay, let's get into the demo. In this video, we're also testing out this new e.l.f. Putty primer. I picked this one up from Ulta and I think it was only like $3, and they have a bunch of different colors. It does feel a little bit stickier. I feel like the paint pots feel a little bit, I don't know, it kind of feels just like it. I might have to do a comparison video and test them out side by side. But yeah, we're gonna test this out. I feel like I'm really familiar with ColourPop eyeshadows. I have done a ton of reviews. I have a whole playlist in case you're interested. So normally ColourPop eyeshadows tend to work even fine on their own. I find that nowadays though that some of these shimmers are very intense and kind of will sometimes flake off a little bit. So I'm kind of wondering if this will help hold on our shimmers more. I don't know. This color I think is very pretty. It almost reminds me of MAC Painterly Paint Pot, which is the one that I have. It does seem to be drying down a little bit. I'm really curious to see how this works. So they also have white too, so I might need to pick up a few of these. It's not completely getting rid of the color underneath my eyelid, but it is supplying kind of a good color base. We are going to start off by taking the shade called The One and putting it into our brow bone. Ever so slightly. I feel like I definitely need a lighter brow bone color. I wonder if I go into the other shade called Lovesick, if that will be any better, if it will be a little bit more color too. I haven't swatched these yet, so I don't really know what I'm in for. So let's try Lovesick, see if that would make a good, decent brow bone highlight. Next, we're going to go into Cheek to Cheek. I'm interested in this color because it's kind of more of that brownie mauve type of shade, which I really like those shades a lot. This base seems to be working really well. It is a little bit harder to blend on top of because it's a little bit sticky, but it's not making it patchy or anything. It's still slippery, set enough that you can blend on top of it, but it does help keep the pigment to stick, so it is making a huge difference, I feel like, in helping these shadows stick. So I'm just gonna add Meiji blush. I keep dipping in there by accident, so we're just gonna throw some of that on top of there. This one's like a matte sequin shade. I'm really loving the way this eye putty is working. I might have to get the white one too. I'm gonna take Cheek to Cheek and use my pencil brush for that under the eye. I really like the Cheek to Cheek a lot because it's that very subtle kind of mauve. It's not overly pink, and that's what I really like about this palette. It's pink, but it's not too pink. So I do appreciate that a lot. Oops. Oh, so far so good, and I really, again, am loving this primer. I think it is making a huge difference. Everything looks very smooth and blended. Again, it did feel like it kind of tugs a tiny bit. I think for it to stick and be this pigment is a better trade-off. Like, I'd rather have to blend a little bit more. So it's kind of hard to initially blend. But like I said, I almost think it's worth it the way it makes it pop so much. I feel like I don't really have to even build it up a lot. I just have to take a longer time blending. But man, this, you guys, might be my new, like, I have to use this primer every single time. Okay, so far I'm impressed with the shadows, and now onto the shimmers. I'm so excited. I might lay down a little bit more primer just to kind of get more of that tacky base again and see if we can get away without using a glitter glue. Lately I've been using the NYX glitter glue because, like I said, their shimmers have been so intense they kind of tend to fleck up just a tiny bit. Yeah, so I feel like they do need something sticky, so I'm just gonna take it onto a brush and put this on here. Do you see how this isn't like super duper pigmented? So I don't know how much the white base would really so I don't know if the white base would really create like an intense white base. It's a little bit more on the sheer side, So from Swatches, I've seen Pop the Bottle looks gorgeous, but it also looks more on the sheer side. So I'm going to take that more towards the inner corner, inner third area, because I don't think we're going to get a ton of pigment out of it. Maybe I'm wrong. We shall see. Yeah, definitely more of like toppery. I'm going to go in with a fluffier brush for that. Yeah, do you see it's more topper? It does give you like slight pink, but this one would definitely, if you wanted it to be more intense, would be better with like glitter glue or something. Or of course wet, like you guys know. I'm gonna try wetting it for the inner corner. I really like an intense inner corner highlight, and right now I'm just not able to really get it super intense. It is pretty, but I like more like of a pop of shine, and I feel like I can't really build it to that. I'm trying it wet, but I don't know if that's really helping that much. I'm gonna go for Enamored, which is this lighter shade here. Brush is still kind of damp. Okay, that might have been better as an inner corner highlight. I actually might just put that all on top of what we just did. It looks a little bit darker in pan. This is why swatches are important, because swatches actually like give you a better idea of what you're working with, because when you look at it in pan, it tends to go on the eye so different. So when people say swatches don't matter, you're wrong. They do, trust me, because it looks way different on the eye than it does in pan. I mean in skin, just general, just when you actually swatch it, it looks like a completely different color most times. We're gonna go into How Rouge, which is this one's more of a sparkly matte. It kind of cracks me up. People used to hate these all the time, and then ever since Tati came out with her palette, people are like, I love the sequin shades. It just kind of makes me laugh, because I'm like, that's weird, because before that you guys were all hating on them so hardcore, like why I hate these so much, and now you love them. I just don't understand that, but that's okay. I do like this color though. I don't really like the placement of it, but like I feel like I have to go back in here because I went so high with that shimmer. And, like, okay, this is LA Girl in brown, and we are gonna line our rims. I'm actually gonna take an eyeliner brush and kind of just go over that using the shade, what's the darkest shade here? Called Blush Wine. Everything performed so nicely, especially on top of this primer. Again, it did tug a little bit when I was blending, but I have had this eyeshadow on now for an hour and nothing has budged or faded. Obviously it's only been an hour, so I'd hope it wouldn't anyways, but I feel like it will. I think it's gonna last even longer than if I were to just use like nothing, or if I were to use my concealer. So we are actually going to do some quick live swatches of this. Let's get into the first row. So the first shade we have is called Lovesick, which looks like this. I might try and zoom this in more. So that one is kind of like a peachy pink. This is Pop the Bottle, super soft. Super sheer too, can you see? Next one is called The One, and I'm kind of curious myself to see the difference between this first matte and the one. They almost look similar. Okay, so this one actually, the first one I swatched, is a little bit more pinky toned than the one. The one actually is more peachy. My son's yelling about something up there, I'm really sorry. So very slight difference. Enamored is like a beautiful light pink. This one in the demo honestly was a lot brighter of a pink than I thought it would be. It's definitely more like peachy pink, super spring. This next one's called Matey Blush, which this one's like a pink, almost like a dusty pink, but has some of those glitters in there, so it is like a sequin shade. This one's called Blossom Up. I think this could be one of my favorites, how it swatches at least. Every time I see shades like this, it just always reminds me of, like, back in the day we'd call them NARS Orgasm-y shades because that peachy pink gold. Next we have again another sequin called How Rouge. And that's like a beautiful deep mauve. Then we have Cheek to Cheek, which I think is going to be my favorite transition shade in here, like light crease shade. There. Look how beautiful. All those just look so good together. They're like all the same types of shades, but just variation of tones almost. Ah, I love it. Okay, and the last one is Blush Wine, which is the deep burgundy. So again, has the sequins in there, little glitters. No glitter, 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 glitter. Obviously, since there are only 3 true mattes, your whole eye look tends to look very shimmery. So if you're someone that only likes shimmer directly on their eyelid and that's it, this might not be for you because all the deeper shades do have those little tiny flecks of glitter, which don't necessarily look like a shimmer, but you can tell that they're there, especially if you do use a tackier base like this e.l.f. primer. It does actually kind of hold on to those sparkles more than I thought it would. So I would recommend this if you're someone that likes these types of shades. I will maybe do a comparison videos between their other pink palettes if that's something that interests you guys. I do have their original pink palette, and then I have the watermelon palette, and then I have the strawberry shake palette. So I have those 9 pans to compare it to. If you guys want a video on that, let me know down below and I can definitely do that for you. But overall, the quality was really great, really nice. Again, I don't understand the price increase, but I do love this. I think it really reminds me kind of what the Naked 3 kind of was supposed to be, but better quality. And it also kind of gives me the new Nudes Huda Beauty vibe. So if you really like those rosy mauve tones, almost kind of bridal-y shades, then you will really love this. I do like the way this look came out. I do want to try kind of a softer look, but I do really like it, and I'm glad I have it in my collection. I will say, just based off of looking at it, I don't think it is too similar to the other pink palettes I have. Most of the other pink ones tend to have a brighter pink in there, and so it always tends to make it look more of a actual pink as opposed to kind of like this more plummy rosy gold type of pink, if that makes any sense at all. And as for this e.l.f. Putty Primer, I love it so far, and I can't wait to test it out with more eyeshadows, and I can't wait to compare it to the MAC primer, and I also can't wait to maybe try out the white base as well, because it seems to have the perfect consistency between sticky and then setting itself. So I am really excited. I think the only thing that people might not like is that it doesn't completely white out. It's a little bit more of a sheer formula, so it's not full coverage. It's not gonna completely just get rid of all of your lines, but I guess your eyeshadow is covering it up anyways, so that doesn't really bother me. But maybe if you guys want to see a comparison between the MAC, I can do that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and you all have a great day. Bye!